Good morning. This is Dr. McDaniel. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist in New York City, and I'm bringing to you all things health-related for women. Thank you for joining me at the corner today. Let's see. So today I thought I'd speak on probiotics because they're a really integral part of maintaining a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. I do have some notes to keep me on track off screen here, so you'll see me keep doing this to just make sure I'm hitting all of the salient features, as I like to say. Oh, and before I start, please hit the like, subscribe, follow button, hit the bell so that you can be notified of these presentations and not miss them as soon as they come out. And then please check out the GYN Corner, not just on the Facebook, but on the YouTube and also the podcast. We're on all of the different platforms for the podcast. And last but not least, if you have some suggestions for topics, things you'd like to have more information about, please post a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to speak on those topics as long as they're of interest and of importance for women. So let's see, probiotics are a combination of live beneficial bacteria, yeast, fungi, and they are what we call good bacteria, but it's yeast, fungi, and bacteria all together. They make up what we call the microbiome, and the microbiome is essentially kind of the forest of activity or organisms that are on and in our body that aren't actually us. So I should say of foreign microbes or entities that aren't actually us, but they make up our kind of aura because they basically surround a microscopic cloud around us, and they interact with the outside world. So our skin, vaginal system, and intestinal system, those are the three areas that interact with the outside world. Oh, and also the lungs. I never think about the lungs, but the lungs also. So lungs, skin, vaginal, intestinal area, those are all parts of our body that interact with the outside skin, and they require these entities, non-us entities, which basically are like us now. So that's our microbiome, and it's really important to understand that probiotics are always beneficial, so they're helpful for our body. They are, I guess the definition of probiotics are they can be safely consumed, so they're bacteria, fungi, yeast that if we consume them, they won't make us sick, we won't get ill or die. So they're safely consumed. They increase the beneficial activities in the function of our body. They're able to survive passing through the intestinal system, especially the stomach, because the stomach is extremely acidic. It's more acidic than hydrochloric acid. And it can also be isolated specifically from humans. So they're specifically attuned to our bodily systems, and they improve our bodily systems. And probiotics they promote a few things. They improve our immune system, so they help our immune system to function better, and that's through primary activity is because they're anti-inflammatory, and they are antioxidants. They also help throughout our body, so they can help our mouth. When we consume probiotics, they can suppress and basically annihilate the poor bad bacteria that can occur due from different foods that we eat, and can cause caries or cavities, and also halitosis or bad breath. So they can improve the health of our mouth by improving the bacteria that support healthy gum function, healthy gum function, and actually support healthy bone production and buildup in our mouth. They're also good, as a lot of people know, for the urogenital health. So they improve the function in the bladder. A lot of people take cranberry because that's an anti-inflammatory, but also probiotics are also anti-inflammatory, so they can support healthy bladder function, decrease the propensity towards UTI, cystitis, bladder infections. They're also really, really helpful for the vaginal system. They can maintain the normal healthy pH. A lot of the things that we consume in activities, such as birth control pills, they can throw off the vaginal pH. Antibiotics obviously will throw off the normal bacterial concentration and pH, and certain different medications can also do that. So probiotics are really good because they can maintain the normal flora, so the healthy bacteria, healthy yeast and fungi, especially lactic acid in the vaginal pH, and lactic bacillus. So I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anything. Lactobacilli. So when you really improve the probiotics in your dietary intake, you can decrease the propensity towards yeast infections, BV or bacterial infections, irritation. So a lot of women will have just heavy discharge that's not really due to a specific pathogen, and they'll have a lot of irritation and discomfort. If they consume regular probiotics, that will help to balance out the system and decrease the propensity towards those problems. And let's see, and of course probiotics you can get them as supplements, tablets, or powder, but I always promote getting your probiotics through foods, or healthy whole foods, and they are predominantly present in fermented foods. Now, fermented foods are loaded with live probiotics, and during the process of fermentation, probiotics convert carbohydrates, which are starches and sugars, into alcohol or acids. So obviously the most well-known fermented food is beer, but that doesn't really have any live probiotics. But there are kind of variations on beer, allergies today, which do have probiotics, and that's kefir and kombucha. And then a little known one, which is made from rye bread, and that's called kvass, which I had not heard of until I started checking out fermented foods. Kombucha I drink a lot, probably drink it too often. I drink kombucha at least 4 or 5 times a week. And then there is kefir. I don't drink kefir very often, maybe once or twice every 2 or 3 months. But yogurt is very well known. I eat yogurt 4 or 5 times a week also. Once you really start increasing your diet in fermented foods, you actually start craving the fermented foods. So I really do crave those. Pretty much every day I'll have fermented food. And then some other fermented foods, I even crave sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is fermented. Really good source of probiotics. I crave sauerkraut probably because I eat sauerkraut a few times a week. So they obviously high in antioxidants, high anti-inflammatory, also antifungal and antimicrobial. They also improve cardiovascular disease because they fight atherosclerosis or plaque development, and they are anti-diabetic because they improve insulin sensitivity, so really important. So as I said, the most popular, well-known is yogurt, of course, and yogurt is pasteurized milk and 2 strains of bacteria, Streptococcus thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus. Those are the most common probiotic strains. You can make yogurt with other probiotic strains. Second most common is kefir, which we know is another probiotic-rich dairy product. Unlike yogurt, many people who are lactose intolerant can drink kefir. It's high in lactic acid bacteria and yeast, which they call grains. Obviously, you can make kefir and yogurt from not just cow milk, but from goat. You can also make it from soy milk and from coconut. I've even seen it from almond milk, and then sheep also, so lots of different options. Kombucha, which is my favorite. I've been drinking a green kombucha lately. It tastes really, really good. It's described as a fizzy fermented black or green tea with SCOBY, and SCOBY is SCOBY. It stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast. And it's also known as the Immortal Health Elixir, which I had not heard of, but that's due to its probiotic beneficial effects in the gut. And then, as of note, you should make sure you only drink unpasteurized kombucha, because pasteurization, which of course is the process of trying to clean it as much as possible with high temperatures, that kills the gut healthy probiotics. Sauerkraut, which I really like, it's a good source of live active cultures, and you have to make sure that you get the sauerkraut that's prepared with vinegar, not pasteurized, of course. And sauerkraut's also good because it has a lot of fiber, so it acts as a resistant starch, has vitamin C, B, K, iron, and manganese, which are really good for our nutritional system. And dark chocolate, when I have my yogurt, I put coconut flakes, but I also put little tiny morsels of dark chocolate, so that adds to the probiotic effect. Dark chocolate, of course, is also an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and you have to make sure you get the 70% or more cacao, but that's a really good source of probiotics for the intestinal system. Kimchi, if you like spicy foods, I have kimchi in our refrigerator, but I'll add it just every once in a while. It's like eggs, scrambled eggs type of thing. But kimchi is a spicy Korean dish, and it's made from vegetables, predominantly cabbage, and lactic acid bacteria, lactobacillus. It's really important to also get the unpasteurized, because they do have the pasteurized version, but it's very similar to sauerkraut. Of course, sauerkraut is chopped cabbage also. And then a Japanese dish, which I've heard about for years, but I've never tried. So if anyone's tried it, they can make comments, place some comments in the comment section. Let me know how they like it. It's called natto. It's from soybeans, so it's fermented soybeans. And it's considered a superfood because of its probiotic effects, and the enzyme nattokinase is thought to help treat cancer, endometriosis, fibromyalgia, and infertility. So it's pretty amazing, and obviously boosts the immune system. Tempeh is another traditional food from Indonesia, and it's also soybean based. It looks kind of like a bread because it comes as a loaf or patty. You slice it up, and it's used predominantly as an alternative to meat for vegans. Cucumbers, of course, are pickled, and we call them pickles. That's a probiotic. Again, you have to make sure that you get the pickles that are prepared using brine or water and salt, and and they're always in the refrigerated section. And then let's see, and yeah, olives. Forgot about olives. So green olives are probiotic, really helpful for irritable bowel syndrome issues, gas, bloating, and diarrhea. And they're also made with Lactobacillus plantarum and Lactobacillus pentosus. And sliding into home base, a lot of hard cheeses such as feta, Gouda, provolone. Those are good. I like to sprinkle cheese with my scrambled eggs. I cook the scrambled eggs, sprinkle a little bit of hard cheese, usually like feta or Gouda. That's a great source of probiotics. Miso, which I have whenever I go to get sushi, I'll have miso. That's another Japanese probiotic, and it's fermented with a starter called koji. Sliding into home base, we said kvass, which is the Russian fermented drink from rye bread, and it can also be made from beets. And last but not least is sourdough bread. The cooking, when you bake the sourdough bread, that is made with yeast, whole wheat flour and live yeast, but it does kill the yeast, the probiotics, but it is high in lactic acid, which has a similar beneficial effects. So I hope that's been helpful information on why it's really important to eat probiotics, to ingest probiotics, and the different sources. So it's highly flexible sources to obtain your probiotics. I really recommend getting probiotics from your food every single day. You'll notice the difference with your energy and how heavy or how light your body feels from the inside out. And it's always a really good source of anti-inflammatories for health and longevity. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.